Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and today I have with me Victoria Wright. Now, I met Victoria at our author fair at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. She's an inspirational author, speaker, voiceover artist, which I'll have to remember because sometimes I look for those. Creator. Victoria has embarked on a journey to find her true self. In the process, she is remembering how to be whole, to look inward for guidance, and to know her truth. Formerly an executive in both nonprofit and for-profit, she most recently stepped away from her 14 years in finance marketing to become an author. She's published 4 inspirational books and is currently working on her 5th. Welcome, Victoria, to the show. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's a big leap to move from a corporate, secure, stable job, right? I say that because there's lots of viewers out there and listeners out there that have these secure, stable jobs, but they know their heart wants to do something else. How did you move from that place to this? And what would you share with those that want to do the same?
Well, so my story starts in my very early 50s. As I mentioned, in corporate America. And I got demoted. And I will note it wasn't a correct demotion, but I got demoted because there was a big reorganization. And in the process of the firm helping me find a new role, I was just losing my mind, really. It hit my ego extremely hard. I've always been an achiever, A-type personality. And the time that it took to find a new role, I worked with a personal coach, and she helped me to kind of settle myself, ground myself through journaling, through meditation, being mindful, all of the wonderful tactics that we use to start looking inward. And through that process, I heard my inner voice, or what I like to call my soul's voice. And as I began learning about this voice and what we can now call my spiritual awakening, I was learning that I was receiving guidance. There was something inside of me that was, very loving and very nurturing and would nudge me in different directions. And once I found a new role at the firm that I was working in, I realized that I still wasn't happy. And that inner voice, my soul's voice, said to me, leave your job. I was like, what are you telling me to do here? When I first heard the voice, I was like, okay, I'm going crazy. Once I got over that I was like, no, I'm really going crazy to literally leave a well-paying, secure job. But I knew down deep that I truly wasn't happy. I had worked so hard to get to the place that I was. And then now that I was there, I was like, wow, I thought it was going to be more, more fulfilling. And so, I was like, okay, I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to listen to this voice. And I took early retirement, and it happened right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I don't know if that was good or bad. My portfolio was like, it might not have been the best time, but we're looking back, it was a very good time because everybody, it shut down. Everything shut down, and people just had to be quiet for a while. And that gave me lots of opportunity to, really go inside. And I sat there and I was like, one day, I was like, okay, so you guided me to leave my job, but you didn't tell me what I'm going to be doing now. Do I look for another job? What do I do? And then that's where I was guided to become a voiceover artist in such a random way. And so I got a coach. I became a voiceover artist. I narrated books on Audible. And it was a lot of fun. And it like opened up this creative part of me that I probably had been hiding for a very, very long time. And then it just started flowing from there, which from voiceover led to writing books in a very strange and interesting way. But I can't say that it's for the faint of heart what I did. It was very nerve-wracking for myself and for my family. But it was such an amazing step to take because I craved freedom. I craved creativity, and I got it. Be careful what you wish for. I was free. I didn't have a job. And I found myself becoming very, very creative, and which has worked out in a very positive way for me.
I love that. I love how spirit took you to voiceover reading books in order to encourage you to write your own book, right? The pebbles that are dropped for us that we pick up, we don't always understand where they're going to lead to or where they're going or where spirit is taking us sometimes. Again, trusting that inner voice, which is scary sometimes because you're like, what? Are you kidding me? I live in this 3-dimensional world. I have responsibilities and you want me to do what? Right? It can be really
Exactly.
scary for lots of people. And for many of us that have done that, including myself, of walking away from a career, knowing I won't go back, is a big leap of faith of stepping away from something that you've invested and created and built and been accomplished in. And, I get all of that. And I get how frightening it is to say, okay, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to go do this. And people are like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Right?
Exactly. Yes. No, I mean, because I had a business degree, I had a law degree. I'm up on this, I reached executive level on the corporate ladder. And, granted, I'm an adult woman, but I still had to tell my mom. She's like, you're doing what? And I had to somehow be able to explain to her not only what this inner voice was, which is an interesting and enough conversation to have with someone that maybe hasn't recognized their own inner voice yet. And then say that I trust myself enough, because when you listen to your inner voice, I like to say that's code for trusting yourself. You are trusting yourself that you can do whatever it is that, you set your mind to do. And not that she didn't trust me, and similarly my family, but it was such a complete opposite direction than what I had put my life towards. all that schooling, all that money, all of the stress and all the things that come along with being able to accomplish those things. And now I'm just like, I'm done. No more. I don't like stress. No one likes stress, but I really don't like stress. I gave up stress, which is a crazy and wonderful thing to be able to do.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's a leap of faith, right? It's having faith in who you are and what you do, and it's a big leap of faith. And I love that. So talk to me about how you've written these books. How did these stories unwind for you? Like, how were you guided down this path of writing a book, and how did the stories come to you?
Sure. So the first book that I wrote, which is called Healing Words, to Inspire, Remember, and Know. It was a passion project, you could say. I didn't know it was actually being written when I was writing it, because, as I mentioned before, journaling has been extremely important, continues to be very important to me. And as I was becoming more accustomed to this wisdom that was within me, I started asking questions, like, hey, so what is love? Like, what is it? What is it to be mindful? What is life? What is time? What is free will? I mean, I was out there. I'm questioning everything. And that's where I hear my soul's voice the clearest, when I journal. And I'm literally asking questions and I'm dictating the answers. And I'm being told these beautiful things about, energy and all of the questions that I was asking. And then after a period of time, I hear, okay, your book is ready. Now it's time to publish it. And again, one of those moments when you're just like, seriously, like, who are you talking to me? Like, publish a book? Like, I went to business school. You write, you write in PowerPoints. Okay. I went to law school. I was doing law work. You write in briefs. You don't write books, something that's actually interesting to read. I never ever thought that I could write a book. First of all, I never thought I was talented enough to do such, nor did I think that I had something to say. Well, that changed with this book, and again took that leap of faith, and I wrote it. It's a small piece, but to me it's extremely powerful. They are my personal entries, a lot of them. There's some meditations in it as well. And in all honesty, I think it was the universe's way of saying, this is kind of your coming out party. You're going to publish this book, and knowing you have to promote it. You just don't do all this for nothing. So that's when I had to be open with myself and people that I know to say, this is a journey that I am now on. This is what I am doing. And to say that to strangers is no big deal, because they don't know you from Adam. But to say that to family and friends and people that have known you your entire life a certain way, now you're sharing with them that you are now a different person, or the person you always were supposed to be. So that was the first book. And then once I went through that and I was all proud of myself, okay, I did it. What's next? And they're like, well, my inner voice basically said, you're going to write another book. Okay. And I was just told to sit at your computer. And I did. Close your eyes, put your fingers on the keyboard, and it just came to me. I didn't block it out. That's not how I write. the story just flowed from me. And the character, her name is Evie Prince. She's a 40-something-year-old woman, similarly to me, who is A-type personality, work, 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 work. And she experiences a spiritual awakening. And her journey of really figuring out what this is all about. And for those who have embarked on this kind of a journey, it's not pretty. It's not, unicorns and lollipops. You gotta get rid of a lot of stuff before you can welcome in the new stuff. And purging and getting rid of the old can be extremely painful. It can be, you think you're falling apart, but in actuality, you're just releasing all of the stuff that's not necessary so that you can then have the room to be brought the stuff that is necessary for this life. And so it's a trilogy, and it just goes through how she breaks down and then starts to build herself back up, and that the people that are in her life who are spiritually inclined, who have listened to the voices inside, how they guide her along with her own voice. And just that the clarity that she receives through the awakening process that I think, again, many of us have experienced, when all of a sudden you just look at something and you may have looked at it many times, and all of a sudden you see something completely new in it. And just how that whole discovery process. And so, that's the three books. And then this fifth book, I should say, similarly, I said, do I have more stories within me? And I was told, yes, you do. And I did the same process and sat down and wrote the fifth one, which is now in with the editor. And this one is a young adult book, which, I mean, all writing is new to me. So I guess I can't really say, I didn't expect it. But this one is about bullying, which of course is something that we all experience as children, probably, but even as adults. But the bigger point is that we can have external bullying, but there's also a bully inside. And even though it can be considered a young adult, the main character is a teenager, I think it is a message that we all can relate to, no matter how old we are. It just, the biggest bully is the one in our head. So
awesome. Such an awesome journey, of going through that process. And I'm sure that it was very healing for you all the way through. We talk about awakening and people are awakening. It's almost like at many points in our life, we were walking in our sleep. And then, like you said, you've looked at something many, many times. And now all of a sudden you step back and look at it again, and it looks completely different. That is a real definition of awakening. It's about a change in perception of everything, reality, life, who we are, where we're going. Those are all big, big journeys. And I love how you say it can be painful to release and let go. But when it's done, it can be freeing on so many levels when you find yourself, right? A lot of people think that when you get spiritual, that everything becomes easy. No.
no.
No, it
Nope.
doesn't work that way. No, we don't have unicorns and lollipops. I love that. we have the same challenges, but we just face them in a different way. We get through them in a different way. We develop tools and processes, whether it's journaling, automatic writing, healing, um, grounding, being in nature, whatever that is for everyone is different, but it allows us to move through these challenges because that's what this life is about, is having experiences, good and bad. It's part of that journey. So it just keeps us on track so that we grow. And think about every challenge you've ever had. You've learned something through those challenges, and we grow a little bit more each time. So makes it really, really powerful. So
Yes.
I love the stories. We actually got a few of our books. They're in the store for those that are interested. Stop by. We picked up some and added them to our inventory at the store. So you can definitely pick some up there. Really cool. And we had her read a section, and I can see where she's a good audio book person because she does a really good job at reading stories.
Thank you. Which is, it's so funny because as you said, those pebbles, I call them seeds, the little things that just get planted and you never know where or how they are going to bloom. But it's, as I now look back, it's like, okay, the audiobook work, the writing, now my next leap of faith, not that I'm leaving writing, but the next leap of faith is to become a speaker. And so now it's like the skill sets that I've been learning from all of those other things are now being used as I embark on this new journey of becoming, well, I guess I'll call it inspirational speaker. And so it's just like, it's so amazing that you sit there and you're just like, okay, what's next? What are you going to direct me to now? And what direction am I going to go in? And yeah, because I'm being guided to tell my story in multiple mediums. So my story has been in books, fictionally. I write, I have a newsletter, so I write regularly in that. And then now coming to speak with people about this journey. So it's crazy how it all works out.
But it's also very much an adventure, right? The
Yes.
adventure takes us on this beautiful sacred journey, and we never know where it's going to lead us. And I love that piece. So, Victoria, those that are listening that want to learn more about you and what you do and all of that, what are some ways that they can connect with you?
Oh, sure. So my author's website is healingwords.online. And through that site, you can find my books. I just mentioned that I have a weekly newsletter. You can sign up for that. So no spamming in that. It's just inspirational and just quick little a note I generally send it out every Sunday. And then I am on basically the social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And they're all under Healing Words Source. So you can find me that way or search through my name. So I'm out there.
I love that. And you're getting out there more and more. So I can't wait to see where this journey, this adventure takes you down the road. It was so amazing to get to meet you. And I hope we connect again and again over time because I've really enjoyed that connection. And thank you so much for taking the time to share your story today.
No, thank you again for this opportunity. It's wonderful. And it's to be able to share this experience with people who are embarking on it or have experienced it themselves. It brings a whole new level to the discussion, because sometimes you don't even have to say words. It's just that energy that you can feel between that, you're understood, you're seen, and, that's all anybody ever really wants. So, thank you for giving me that opportunity and having the conversation.
Absolutely. And thank those that are watching today. I hope that you will like, comment, follow us, subscribe on our channels. And I hope you'll check out some of our other episodes here on Sacred Magic Podcast. And if you live in Denver, we'd love to see you in person at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts in Littleton, Colorado. We would love to be able to meet you in person. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope we'll get to see you really soon.